Hi there. I said that I was live yesterday in my story, and so here I am going live. Uh, I did say it was going to be in the morning, but I got to follow my flow, and I wouldn't be showing up and doing what I tell others to do, which is, really living your life through following your own inner guidance and inner alignment if I wasn't doing that. Like that wouldn't work, right? So I do the things that I preach, and it just wasn't in alignment for me this morning to show up. So here I am. I wanted to tell you a little story that happened. So grab a cup of tea, sit down with me. If you're here, say hello. If you're watching later, just say hashtag replay. So some of you may know this. Some of you that are new to me, my name is Erin McGuire. I'm a intuitive coach, energy healer, and teacher for over 13 years of working with clients. And hi, if you're new. And I teach on many different things: manifestation, abundance, nervous system healing, trauma healing, so many things. And I'm passionate about many things. And so I know what I'm about to tell you is wrong, but anyway, okay, let me go back. So, some of you know that my fiance, William, and I are moving to Florida, and that we put our house on the market to sell. We live currently in Dubuque, Iowa, and we're moving to Florida. And we had a buyer, and everything was going great. But there was some messages that we were getting, and I was feeling I'm very sensitive to energy. I'm an intuitive, so I pick up on things. And I was just sensing that there was something going on. Unfortunately, there's some issues with that person's house. It was contingent. The transaction was contingent on the sale of her house. And unfortunately, there were some issues with that house that a lot of the people that were looking at her place weren't, had concerns about. So she wasn't selling her place in the time that she wanted to. So, why am I telling you this story? Because it has to do with something I want to share with you, a little lesson that I think we can all we all deal with this. We all deal with negative thinking and storytelling and looping. All, nobody's immune to that. So hold in there, stick with me. I'm going to get to the point, but I'm a storyteller, so I like to, go back and tell a little bit of the story. So she sent us an email maybe like 2 weeks ago and said, kind of gave us a heads up about this. And we, that kind of put a damper on how we were feeling. We were all amped up that we were, things were moving in alignment and on track and all of that. But we just kind of like let that sit, like it didn't mean the house wasn't going to sell. She was just concerned about some things. And then within that 2 week period, people were asking me, because I'd already put the information on my social media that we were moving. And I went to like a wedding last weekend, and people were like, "Oh, I thought you were gone." And first of all, I was like, "Okay, we have to sell our house," but I get it. People don't know the timing of things. And I found myself, when people would ask about, like, "Well, when are you moving to Florida?" I found myself saying, "Well, we have to wait. We have to sell our house. Her house has some, things going on with it. So I don't know what's going to happen." And I kept kind of like repeating this narrative that was not useful. I was basically saying, instead of just being like and answering somebody's question, like, "When are you moving?" I could have just said at the end of October. But rather than doing that, I went into the whole story. Probably because I didn't want them to, wonder what was up if we're here in November or whatever. It was like I don't know what I was trying to do in those moments. I just felt the need to repeat this story. I shared it to my family. the week before that. And so it just kind of became this narrative that I was telling. And I want you to just think about any story you might be telling right now that's on that negative scale, right? Where you might be thinking, you might be speaking about something in your life in a way that's not what you want, but is what is in the here and now, right? So leave me a comment if you have an example of that. Like, what are you speaking out into the world right now? Or give me a thumbs up if you're there. And so yeah, I just like William and I had a conversation yesterday morning, and that kind of like just put me in a mood where I was just feeling defeated, feeling discouraged, thinking that, like we had set this closing date of October 27th, and that was the day we were going to move, and getting really stuck in how I think it's supposed to be, getting really stuck in a controlled kind of way that like it's got to work this day because that's what I said, and kind of getting really in that contracted state where I'm kind of fighting against the flow, the universal flow of the universe, and not really, it's got to be my way, not divine timing way. And so I share all of that because I've been doing this work for a long time, and I still, like in kind of these big life situations, can get stuck in some old patterns. If you don't know me, like I, grew up with lots of childhood trauma, all that kind of stuff. And, because of that, it pushed me into becoming a teacher and a healer. And I had to really work out a lot of things in myself. And then I help other people do that too. And it just really became this story. Going back to the story, it just became the story that I was telling over and over again. And I was thinking it and I was feeling it. And we really have to remember that I heard this once in a book and I loved it. They call it spelling. Excuse me. They call it spelling because you cast a spell every time you speak. So we're casting spells every time we speak. You don't have to get freaked out by what that means. It just means like you are a conscious creator. And you're creating with your thoughts, with your words, with your feelings. And some of that is not under our control, because if we've got a lot of junk in our subconscious mind from trauma, from childhood, then we're not always conscious of what we're doing. So in those moments, I was repeating a story of something I didn't want, which is that the house isn't going to sell because we got to wait on this other person. I was going into a bit of a victim mentality, which is also very easy to do. And that's where we put our power outside of ourselves into other things. So I was putting my power into this other person's house selling and thinking that that's the only way that our house is going to sell. And that's giving my power away. That's playing a victim. And it's very disempowering when we do that. And you can do that in so many areas of your life. So I'm sharing all this vulnerably with you because I want you to know that everybody does this, okay? Nobody's immune to negative thinking and getting in loops and speaking about things that we don't want, but that are happening in our life, and repeating those stories inside of our heads, to our families, to people we meet, to so on and so forth. So it's not that you can never talk negative. It's not that you can't vent, but it's the idea of like, maybe you write it down in a journal once, right? And you just get it out, because that's still energy that needs to move. Maybe you hire, a coach that's trauma-informed or a therapist, and you get it out with that person. But if you're repeating it multiple times a day and thinking it multiple times a day, that's giving that thing a lot of energy. And we forget that we are so powerful, we're so unlimited, because we feel very limited by these bodies, by the earth, by society, and all these things and these stories. We think we're very limited, but we're actually so unlimited. It would kind of blow your mind if you really tapped into that. And we forget that. We forget how unlimited we are. And so we forget that one thing we say on repeat actually becomes our creation. And I know like this kind of conversation can really piss some people off. Like my fiance sometimes he used to get really triggered when I would talk about this kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm sharing that. Hopefully he's okay with that. But he'd just be like, but this is reality and this is what's happening. And, we can get really stuck in buying into what is, because this is what's happening. Also, we're wired biologically to fix problems. So we focus on the problem, we talk about it, we spew about it to everybody that'll listen, because it's natural to do that. The brain naturally is looking for ways to fix those problems. So don't beat yourself up about any of this. This is the point that I'm trying to make, is don't beat yourself up, and let's start noticing where we're telling these stories. I had to change that story, and in fact, it just changed itself. So yesterday morning, we got an email from and this is kind of a funny story, so I'm going to share this with you. And if you're here, say hi. I always like to know who's here, or if you're watching later, just say #replay. So this is kind of an interesting story. So I don't believe necessarily in coincidences. I really believe that there's signs. The universe is always giving us signs if we're open to looking for them. And so I get an email yesterday morning. William and I have kind of a conversation, and we're both kind of just sad because it's not happening in the timeline that we thought, and so on and so forth. So I was just in a really bad mood yesterday morning. I went and worked out, came back, was still in a bad mood, just like feeling defeated. And I'm sitting there, get on my computer, and I see an email from the lawyer of the house stuff. And I'm like, oh man. And it says cancel purchase agreement. And I go to open it, and not within a sec, I didn't even read through the email, which was not very long. Within 1 second of opening that email, I hear the siren thing go off. You guys that live in smaller towns know what I'm talking about, where it literally said, "This is only a test." You guys who has those at home, give me a thumbs up in your town, or let me know in the comments if you live in a town where that thing goes off. And like he says that a few times, and then eventually the sirens go off. It's like a monthly test of the siren. And so literally, like, the universe has a very funny sense of humor, by the way. So literally I open this email and I hear, "This is only a test," as I'm getting an email saying the buyer is canceling the purchase agreement. So I had to laugh at that and then move forward, right? Because what that did was it opened up space for other people to come in and make offers and look at the house, whereas before we were a little bit more locked into that space. So that's the story. Just yesterday was just full of lessons and learnings and deepenings. I believe that everything that's happening to us, like whatever life is giving you, if we're not surrendering to it, if instead we're fighting it, we're going, like what I was doing, no, I said we would close on October 27th, and that's when we're moving, and and I was getting very stuck in my ways, and it was my way. Like, this is what's going to happen. Whenever we do that and we're not surrendering to the divine flow of life, and in essence, we are not in flow. And that's when we start to feel tension in our bodies, contraction in our bodies, just issues in life, things aren't working out the way that we want, we cut ourselves off from our creativity, from our abundance, and it just doesn't work. As Abraham Hicks says, it's like floating downstream versus floating upstream. So in those moments, you're trying to float upstream and like you're just like fighting against the current. So yeah, that's just a story that I wanted to share. Just like, let's stop fighting against the current, especially in these cosmic times that we're in right now with like all the planets that are retrograde and everything that's going on. A lot of things are probably coming up for you to be shed, to have light shed upon them. And yeah, how can you move forward in all of that and surrender more? So what is life giving you? Yesterday, life was giving me that this purchase agreement, this buyer wanted to back out. And I wanted to contract. I wanted to run and hide. I wanted to fight. I wanted to be like, no, this is happening. And instead, I had to surrender and just say, okay, this is what's happening today. So it's like, how am I showing up to what life is presenting me in this moment? And it doesn't mean we don't have control over what life is presenting us. That's where what we're thinking and what we're saying comes into play. Remembering that you have that tricky subconscious mind that's maybe full of crap from childhood programming and societal programming that could be directing the show a bit. So we always want to be thinking about any kind of manifestation work must include some shadow work, some healing, some looking at the parts of our stuff that is possibly blocking that creative flow from flowing. So that's kind of just a little story I wanted to share today. Yeah, it's just be open to what life is giving you right now and really just see if you can let yourself let go. You might be holding on to a rock, right? If we're using the river metaphor, maybe you're holding on to a rock and you're like trying to swim upstream. I mean, just do that and feel like the tension and the frustration in that. And then maybe just imagine yourself just letting go of that rock and just like laying back and just letting yourself float downstream. And use that metaphor. Metaphors are very powerful. The subconscious mind actually works really well with metaphor and symbol. So use that metaphor to just like whatever rock, whatever is your rock right now. For me, it was selling the house. Yours might be an issue in your relationship or finances or your career or with your boss, whatever it is. Imagine just letting that go and surrendering. Okay, this is what's happening. How can I show up to this? How can I bring my presence, my consciousness, my infinite intelligence to this? And see what happens. Lastly, I want to share, I'm so excited. I've got some offers for all of you. So we're 18 minutes into this, so I'll be sharing more information in case people don't get this far in the video, but hopefully you do if you're watching later. So I have been really thinking about my nervous system programs. If you're new to me, I do nervous system healing work with somatic healing. I've had chronic fatigue and thyroid issues, hormonal issues for several years due to childhood trauma and the issues being stuck in my tissues of my body, and was able to heal all of that with somatic work and nervous system healing and understanding. So I created a program a year ago called the Nervous System Reset, and I also included the nervous system reset into the nervous system healing, which is more about going into trauma healing for people that are ready for that. And I was sitting around and I was thinking, like, what feels off about this program? And what came to me was I want the programs to be more accessible to more people. The pricing wasn't feeling right, it needed a change. So I am so excited to announce that we have changed the pricing of both the nervous system reset and the nervous system healing, which includes the reset, to a pay what you can structure with absolutely zero questions asked in whatever choice you make. I don't even care. Just pay what you can. That's it. That's the only rule. And the nervous system reset program is as low as $27, and you get a crap ton of stuff in that program to change your nervous system, to help you rewire your nervous system. The nervous system healing program that includes the reset is the lowest price is $127 for that, and that includes trauma healing with somatic work and all of that. So I am beyond excited. And then we wanted to go a step further and we're going to start up a live membership program. This program is going to include the Empowered Women membership that I did in 2021. And it also includes the nervous system healing program. So the Empowered Women is a monthly program. And really, you know, we're bringing these two programs together because, first of all, it's like the Empowered Women program is like my signature program. That's what I've been teaching and really started my work on back in the day. And I did the membership back a year or so ago because each month I wanted to create a different theme. So we've got themes in there like liberating the family dynamic, healing codependency, discovering your needs and what you truly need and want, and being able to communicate those things to people, boundary setting, confidence work, self-love, lots of stuff around healing, again, the family dynamic stuff, which is a big piece. And so that was like a year-long thing. So what I'm doing now is putting that with the nervous system healing program and turning it into a monthly membership. And in addition to those two programs, you also get 2 live calls per month from myself or one of my lead coaches. And these calls are just going to they're going to involve, you know, taking the theme deeper, bringing in some newer tools, more nervous system work, but you'll have me live to do those things with you. I'm ecstatic. I cannot wait. So every month you'll get access to the nervous system healing, and then you get, with the Empowered Women membership, you get the theme for the month, a coaching call just on the theme, an energy healing, like an hour-long energy healing around whatever, clearing beliefs around whatever. That's going to get the junk out of the subconscious. That's the work I've been doing for the longest time, and it really clears the subconscious. So it's clearing beliefs, negative beliefs that we have around whatever the theme is for that month. You get a breath work session, so doing some really powerful breath work, and then you get a yoga class. So you're getting all that every month, new content, plus the nervous system healing program, plus 2 live calls in addition, to be live together as a group, to be with like-minded people, to be able to ask myself or my lead coaches questions on the spot, get your questions answered, and so much more. So, oh my gosh, I am thrilled to share that with all of you. It's completely lighting me on fire to put these 2 programs together. It was just feeling like something was off. I wanted something to shift, and here we are. So the price for that is just $47 a month for all of that. And, you know, if you bought those programs together, it would be more. Plus, if you add in the live coaching, it would be even more. So you're getting a lot for $47 a month. It is a minimum 3-month subscription. As long as you're subscribed, you get access to the to those 2 self-paced programs, plus the live calls. And some might be thinking, well, how much time is this going to take me every month, Erin? Like, I don't know how I feel about this. And really, it's about 4 to 5 hours. You know, if you really want to max that out, you don't have to do everything that comes in the Empowered Women monthly piece each month, but you know, why wouldn't you, right? But it would be about 4 to 5 hours of self-paced work and then the additional 2 live calls per month. So that's not per week, that's per month. And most of us can find the extra time, especially when we put down our devices and, you know, not be scrolling so much. So this would be like really committing to a year of doing some really deep healing work for yourself. And that has a ripple effect. I always say when we heal ourselves, we heal the world. And we heal generations, 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. So the trauma stops getting passed down. And very interestingly, on the energetic realm, we can heal 7 generations behind us. So a lot of the people that come into my world are sensitives, some are empaths, healers, you know, and a lot of them have been these people that have really taken on and experienced, have had a lot of trauma in life, but they are kind of that chosen one for their family line. So when you decide to move forward powerfully with this kind of work, you're really not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it, you know, for people behind you and in front of you. So I'm going to leave that here for now. I'm literally just putting this out here today. I still have to get the website finished for the Empowered Year program. By the way, you can purchase a year-long part of that and save even more money. But this will be a membership, and yeah, I'm so excited for those of you that are interested. If you're interested and want to learn more, want the website when it drops and all that, then shoot me a message or leave a comment below the video. And yeah, would love to have you. I'm excited. Remember, the nervous system healing and reset programs are pay what you can. If you just want to purchase those, they're starting as low as $27. It used to be $111. So that's a huge difference. And it's pay what you can, no questions asked. I just want people to have access to this work. That's it. The membership that's coming. I don't even think I have the name for it yet. It's coming, but it's a membership. It'll be monthly. You can sign up right away and get access to the programs immediately. The live calls will start in October. And that is all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And leave me any questions below. I'm so excited to welcome more people back into working in bigger groups again, and just feeling really fired up by these decisions, and I hope you are too. That's all. Thanks for being here.